What is going on, my beautiful people? I hope you guys are having a beautifully amazing day. In this video, what we're going to be talking about is being able to get into more of a collaborative framework instead of a competitive framework with people in our life. And the reason I say this is a lot of times we get into this competitive framework where we're like, okay, are we doing more than this person? Even with Jesus, getting closer to Jesus, is this person closer? Is this person going to do greater works than me? Whatever it might be, man. It's something that we don't realize holds us back until we start comparing to people literally in the moment of talking to them. And it's like, you start worrying about if that person's ahead of you, and it takes you out of being able to love people, but it also takes you into this comparative where you get an anxiety if you're not doing the most. But how can we get into just knowing that our value comes from what path God has put us on instead of looking at other people's paths and worrying if how ours aligns to them? The beauty in having that one-of-one value in ourselves is what's going to set us up, set us free in conversations, but just in being able to go out there and not being insecure about like where we currently are compared to everybody else. And the reason I really love this is that, you know, growing up, sometimes there would be these times where I would be talking to people, and you know, you're kind of like, where do I line up to this person? And it was something that was subconscious. It's not even like you're really actively going against this person, like, oh my gosh, they're so terrible. But it's something that you start to realize that it takes you away from just being able to love the person, and that actually gets you out of the flow state when you're in a conversation, but just in your life. If you're not lining up, if you're not doing the right things in your life to feel like you're doing enough, it takes you out of God's presence and into this, I gotta do enough until I'm valuable in that. That's not very great. But there's two stories in the Bible that I think are very beautiful to help us understand this. So firstly, there's a story of Jonathan in the Bible. He is the son of Saul, a king. He's the son of a king, and he is next in line to be the king. He's the prince. So he is this great warrior. He's seen God's power work for him with the Philistine army. God has helped him overcome like 20 Philistine soldiers with just one other guy. It's amazing how God has moved in his life. But then all of a sudden along comes David, who's this little shepherd boy who ends up being crowned or being prophesied as the next king. David ends up defeating Goliath, and after this amazing defeat, Saul says, like, well, they're deciding that they're going to be able to make David king. They don't really know it for sure. Jonathan has kind of an idea, I believe, but Samuel is already anointed, saying that David's going to be the next king. Jonathan can be like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This means that he's threatening my destiny of being the king. This is awful. I'm going to be competitive with this guy. I need to be the king. But Jonathan doesn't do that. He sees the power on David's life, and he is able to, out of that collaborative framework, out of being able to say like, I don't need to be insecure about that, he gives David his robe, his sword, and he is able to continue to help David in his path of becoming the king. And while he is king, it's such a beautiful thing because he even protects David from his own dad. It's amazing to be in that state of not needing to compete and knowing that God has a unique thing for every single one of us. And now Jonathan has stories in the Bible. He has story in the freaking Bible, the most popular book in the world. But he's also just somebody that is an amazing testament to that faith wherever he was doing it at the time. There's also another story in the Bible about Peter. So at the time, there was Jesus was talking to Peter, and he prophesied that Peter was going to have to sacrifice himself. And Peter is like, okay, damn, I'm gonna have to sacrifice myself. But he looks at John and he asks Jesus, what about him? Jesus looks back at Peter and he says, if I will John to live until I come back, what be that to you? What does that matter to you? You follow me. That's what he tells Peter. What it's basically saying is that you don't need to worry about this person or that person. We don't need to look this way or that way. All we need to do is follow Jesus. And that's going to lead us exactly where we need to go. And I think that's beautiful for any of us that are looking to the left, to the right, at other people, instead of looking right at Jesus and knowing that we are one of one. Remind yourself of that, one of one, uniquely on your path. So let's continue to walk in that today and walk confidently in that, knowing that we don't need to compete, we don't need to compare, that we are one of one in Jesus Christ. Love you guys very much, man. Talk to you on the next video. Peace.